All right, can everybody see my screen all right?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So today we're going to be talking about value stacking, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down value stacking. I'm going to talk about the definition of it. Then I'm also going to talk about like why does it work, and then I'm going to talk about how you can use it for your business. So you can look at this image and you kind of get the gist of what value stacking is. You kind of see there's multiple different packages, and I'm just using coffee as an example. And as I dive into the definition a little bit more, you're going to be able to really comprehend what value stacking is and all the variables of it. So I'm going to go to the first definition of value stacking, right? So when you think about value stacking, the first thing that you should think of is something that you see on a regular day basis. And a Big Mac meal from McDonald's or all value meals are essential, a primary example of value stacking. So a Big Mac is this is the cost, this is the fries, this is the actual medium drink. The total value of this actual meal is $10.27, but in the actual value meal you get it for $9.06. So essentially you're saving 10%. Right. And again, this is also dealing with the units per transaction, which if you're into retail or if you ever worked in retail, you will always know that a manager will always tell you to upsell on everything. And this is why, right? Again, they could sell one Big Mac for $5, or they can sell three items for $9 and almost make 80% profit on top of that, right? So that's what value stacking, the basic definition of value stacking is. So why does value stacking actually work? Well, value stacking is based upon the principle of price anchoring. So price anchoring is something that most people are attentive to think about the value of something, and they want to make sure that they're getting extra bonuses or extra value, right? So a lot of times you'll see this in retail to where, hey, if you buy two more items, you'll get free shipping. That's also an alternate version of value stacking as well. So you have to kind of understand there's visual value stacking to where you can see the Big Mac and the three drinks and you can get all three of them for that reduced price, or you could upsell and say, hey, I need to buy more items so I can save money by getting free shipping. So like how could you use value stacking in your business? Like now that you kind of have like a basic understanding of value stacking, well, value stacking is a system to where you can stack multiple different things together to give that perceived value. So in this case, I'm using a book. I can sell a book for $15.95, right? Or I can sell an entire package for $100. Now, how would I get from selling a book to a package for $100? Well, it's seamlessly easy, right? This is why I always say when we do these videos, these education spots, you need to record the education spots. If you do speaking engagements, you need to record those speaking engagements. If you're doing podcasts, you need to record those podcasts because that content could be viewed as value to someone new that's coming into your ecosystem, and then you can put a price tag on that, right? So in this case, I'm saying a 4-hour bonus video training. I've just put an arbitrary price of $97 on it. A video presentation, well, this could be perceived as a video presentation. That's 97 bucks. A webinar, like Rachel has done many webinars at this point in time. So if she records her webinars, then she could reuse those webinars at that price or even more. A special guest interview sounds like a podcast to me, right? And then a challenge. And a challenge could be a 3-day challenge or a 7-day challenge or a 5-day challenge. And again, you don't have to redo these things. Once you already have done them, they already have value. You already have that content. You can stack all of them together. And now you can say, okay, instead of me just selling a book for $15.95, I'm selling the entire package with the content that I already used for $100. So that's a hell of an upsell for a book that only costs $15.95. And then again, if you look at higher premiums, right? So I can do it again, a resource guide, I could do a mastermind group, a 24-hour video. And again, the perceived value is based upon how much time that you put into that project, how much value is that viewer or that user going to get from it, and then you stack it again, right? And the thing that I want you guys to really understand is not only about stacking the prices, it's about the visual representation of the stack. So a lot of times you may see a webinar, and at the end of the webinar, they're going to say resource guide, $15.95, master group, 6,297, and they're listing it out. That's going to trigger in your mind to kind of say, oh, I'm getting that, I'm getting that, I'm getting that, and I'm getting that, and I'm only going to pay that. And then they'll also say, hey, this is the 30% discount if you act now. It sounds very salesy, but again, the psychology behind it goes right back to the McDonald's value meal. It goes right back to the free shipping. And for you as a user, you may only want 2 of these 3 items, but you're going to say, hey, I may use these other items later on, and I'm getting all these items for such a great value. And again, the main thing that you're selling may be a higher perceived value. It may be a $10,000 mastermind group, but then they're going to get everything for less than $10,000. So like that's the general definition, the meaning behind value stacking, how to use value stacking. Do you have any general questions, Rachel?
Um, okay, so sometimes when I am at, I'll do a webinar or, I'll watch somebody's whatever, and I see stuff like that, it feels like kind of like bullshit to me. I mean, so how do you balance that where that the value is so arbitrary? How do you balance that with what you're trying to achieve? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, and again, I think like you're not the average person, right? So the average person that needs that help, like prime example, if I'm trying to sell a course about helping them write a book, and I'm talking about outlining a book, I'm talking about how to find copywriters, and I'm telling them all the extra value adds that again they're fighting to figure out right now, they're not going to view it as bullshit. They're going to be like, well, damn, that's the package that I need. So again,
Yeah.
you're not the typical person. So for you, like think about the course that you're in right now. What sold you on that course?
It was really the person. I mean, because she didn't. Now I've attended some of her workshops and webinars, and she does do some of that. But she does. It was really more her. So I don't think she was a good example. It's more that I've gone to some where I'm like,
Mhm. Yeah, and you're not their target audience. Because again, if you are their target audience, you're going to be like, oh my god, I need everything, and that's what it comes back to. Like the other education spot I did before about target audiences, like you're going to have to target the right people to put the right products in front of them. I can't just take the value stack of McDonald's and put it in front of a vegan and expect a vegan to convert. Like, this is not going to work.
those fries,
Yeah.
those fries are so good.
You see what I'm saying? So you have to think about your target audience and put the right value together. And again, going back to books, if I'm talking to authors and they're struggling authors and they want to get their books published and they want to be top sellers, well, everything that I'm doing is giving them the questions are answered on the products that I'm delivering to them. So for them, they're going to raise their hands all day, every day. And you may
Okay, so
not
let me
just,
ask one more
yeah.
question about this. So, like in theory,
Mhm.
I could, if somebody wants me to redo, like somebody buys a profile renovation from me, I could have a higher price to say it comes with, LinkedIn resource checklist, webinar recording, blah, 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 blah,
Yep.
and
And
charge $1,000 versus
correct.
$700.
And for you, to you in your mind, you're thinking that's bullshit. But to the person that's getting that value, they're like, oh my God, where have you been? So
Does
you're gonna
that,
have to kind of close that state of mind off from your end and just let the people buy the product that they want to have access to from you because again, they're gonna buy it from you because they believe in you and they're gonna want more content from you. So if you already have the content sourced, stack it and then extend the value. Add an extra
interesting.
zero.
Okay, so like I could honestly give them access to like any webinar that I've done in the past, and they get 60-day access or something.
Even Tony Robbins does it. Like, I mean, literally, Tony Robbins does it to the scale to where he may have seven other successful people. He may have Gary Vee talk, and then what he'll do is like, hey, if you sign up for our next thing, you'll get Gary Vee's recording from our last event, and that's a $1,299 value. Gary
Okay.
Vee already signed off for him to use that content, but he's repurposing that content for people that have not heard that speech as of yet.
Okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me.
How would you suggest getting the values of certain things? Like in my case,
Hmm.
you've got bookkeepers, whatever, that offer rock bottom, which you don't want to touch, and then you've got some that are so high I wouldn't even send anybody their way. So how do you formulate? Is it more well, for me it'd probably be a more of an intuition, what feels good kind of thing, but I didn't know if you had any
Yeah.
little tricks up your sleeve on that?
Yeah, so first of all, ending with a 7 or a 5 or a 9. Like traditionally, those are always been the conversions, and you can kind of go through Walmart and see that they've lived by that philosophy, right? So usually in the like media marketing space, we always ends in sevens for some reason. Like don't ask me like psychology behind it, but that works for our genre. So for your genre, you kind of just want to do a general thing. Like things that end in zeros don't really
Mhm.
convert, right? So if you say you're gonna do a bookkeeping per month for like 399 or 499 or 497, you just want to see what's out there, find the middle range, and then pretty much end it with a 9, a 7, or 5.
Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. All right. Any last questions, anyone?
Lakeisha has.
So I had a question about
Mhm.
the way, like with Rachel, I'm the same way. I'm like, when I see that, I'm like, I feel like they're bullshitting. But when I attempted to do that, for when I launched the program, and I want to know if this is the right way. So I basically said, if you were to book, so I gave them like a bonus course or something. If you were to just buy that on your own, this is how much it would cost. So like similar to how they would do at McDonald's, like if you get the separate sandwich is $5.95. A separate drink is $2.50. A separate, like I basically said, I'm not making this up. This is how much it would cost if you were to get these things separately. And so is that, I mean, how do you, I guess, how do you position
Two
it? Is that
schools
a
of
good,
thought, right? So I mean, you're almost gonna think your big thing is your big thing. So if I'm selling
yeah,
the Big Mac, that's why it's called the Big Mac meal. It's not called the Big Mac and fries meal. I'm selling the Big Mac, and by default, you're gonna get the drink and the fries. So for you, if you're selling the main course, you're selling the main course, and then everything else is add on. Hence why they're usually at the bottom of the list. It says bonuses. You also get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bonuses if you act now, and these bonuses are limited for the next 7 days. That's more so scarcity. You want people to hurry up and make that purchase a lot faster, and you're saying that you're only going to get access to these bonuses if you want access to them if you purchase now. Does that make sense?
that makes sense.
Yeah. So for you, if I would not do like say, hey, this thing costs $10,000, but these other things cost $8,000, and you're going to get like a 80% discount, right? I mean, that's one way of looking at it. But for you, I would say this product costs $10,000, and you're going to get in everything for $8,000, and you're also getting these bonuses. So it looks like you're discounting like your bulk price for the main product. You're not trying to outline the other secondaries.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
I have
Oh,
one more
Mhm.
question, sorry, about me. So like with the workshops that I've already done, I recorded. I mean, the one was like a hot mess with the Zoom bombing. Do you think it's better just to re-record those like myself only on Zoom, going through the slides and going through the content, or reusing the ones that have already be like I can do that one again because it's been like 6 months since I've done it.
I would say like this. Prime example, I could record this video myself, and I do that as well. But having a video like this with real questions and answers and feedback, again, your audience may have the same questions that you guys are having, right? So having that live feedback in this video is way more valuable than just you talking to them.
Okay, so then I should redo like the one I did in January minus the Zoom bombing because that was just a big old mess.
I have
Yep.
a suggestion about that, Rachel. There are a lot of people that have been Zoom bombed. They don't know how to deal with it. I think you could do a funny excerpt about that. Here's how you gracefully deal with a Zoom bomb, and you include that because I think people will find it valuable.
Yep.
Oh, all right.
Yep. Again, everything that you record, there's somebody out there that's scratching their head, and it may be obvious to us, but it's not obvious to everyone until they actually see it, and then they're like, "Oh shit, why didn't I think of that?"
Okay, so there's a bonus value deal with Zoom
Yep.
bomb.
Cool. Well, that's it, guys. In the bottom of the document, there's a review. If you want to kind of let me know if this was helpful, insightful, feel free to drop some comments on that for me. Thanks again.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're